All right, guys, I was thinking about something today that happened to me in the past, and I thought I'd just make a video and talk to you guys about it so you just kind of know of something to look out for and something to watch for when you buy a used gun. This is somebody that I bought this gun from that I would consider a crooked or a shady gun seller. Now, this was back in 2010, guys, when I got this. And I really love this gun, and I still do love this gun. But I'm going to show you why I consider the guy to be a crooked gun seller. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here in a minute. But first, I just want to give you a little bit of background here. So basically, guys, I've dealt with hundreds of deals, private face-to-face, whether it was trades, whether it was buying, whether it was selling. Now, I have never, ever, one time had anything bad happen. You know, just because somebody was like a crooked gun seller or he kind of pulled one over on me with this. It's not really a huge deal. I'm sure some of you will think it's not really a massive deal, but he did kind of pull something over on me. I have never, ever had a bad experience, though, to where it was something like, you know, every time you go to sell a gun and you tell somebody, people that aren't into guns, they think you're going to get robbed. And I always say, why would somebody rob a gun guy? It's going to be the guy that's selling the PS4 or the Xbox One or the MacBook Pro computer. That's the guy that's going to get robbed, not a gun guy. But every time you mention a gun in a private sale, somebody always thinks, oh, you know, that's a dangerous situation. And quite the contrary, Man, I'd have to say 95+% of the people I've met that I've done gun deals with are guys that I would probably be friends with if I knew them more. They were always that good. But I just wanted to give you guys a little hint in how people can kind of be shady and when they do dealings and different things. Now, when I go to sell or trade a gun on my end, I am as honest as I can be with that gun to a point. I mean, I will show things that people will never, ever even know. And these people are always so grateful when I tell them this or when I meet them and tell them this, that they trust me overwhelmingly after that. So even to the littlest thing, I'll take a gun that somebody might not even ever realize or might not even know, and I'll say, well, there's this, or you know, there is this little thing right here you can kind of see in the light, and I just wanted to show you that. You know, and then they'll be very grateful, like, oh, you know, there's this wee little rub mark here. If I turn this a certain way, you'll see it, and it's not a big deal, but I just wanted you to know it's there. And they're always very grateful for that. So let's get to this gun here. So this is a Smith & Wesson Model 29 with an 8 3/8" barrel. This is almost the exact gun that Clint Eastwood used, the Dirty Harry gun, except for his was the shorter 6" barrel. This is 8 3/8. But other than that, this is the gun that was used in the Dirty Harry movies. And it's case hardened on the hammer and trigger. No lock hole. And another thing I like about it, guys, firing pin is on the hammer. I really like that. So this is an old one. It's not recessed. The chambers aren't recessed and the barrel's not pinned, but this is a Model 29-6, and I'll show you that right now. And now that you know what gun it is, now we're going to go over what happened when I went to get this gun. So I believe it was on one of the forums. I can't remember. I don't know if it was Glock Talk or what it was, but this was back in the day. Like I said, this was in 2010. Guy has this up. I want to get it. I'm going to get a pretty good deal on it. I got it for like $650 or $700. One of those two, I can't remember. But $650 to $700. I was happy with that deal. And, you know, in 2010, and I was like, you know what? I love this gun. It's a 44 Magnum. It's got an 8 3/8" barrel. It's just like the Dirty Harry gun. It's just a longer version. I really, really want this thing. So I meet the guy, and I'm in the parking lot. It is dark out, but I have a light, and I have lights on. And he's there, he's at the passenger side with the door open, and I'm sitting in the driver's seat, okay? And I just invited him to go ahead and come over to the passenger door, and I took the gun box, and I'm looking at it, and I'm turning the gun like this, and I'm looking at it like this here, And I turn the gun like this, and just as I start to look at it, he goes, wait. And he points over here, and he says, there's a car. You know, and I immediately put the gun down like this, and it was just a car. You could see the headlights coming from that direction over there. And then when it like entered this parking lot, it turned down here. So basically, he was acting like he was nervous because of the car and because of me holding the gun and that the car may be approaching. And I drop the gun down, I look away, I look around, I look at the car, and the car is over here coming up this way at a distance, and then it makes a turn. It doesn't even come up this far. So I re-pick the gun up like this, I look at it, and I'm like, yeah, you know, and I pulled the hammer back and dry fired it or whatever. And I said, you know, yeah, I'll take it, and I went ahead and did the deal. So later, when I get home and I'm looking over the gun, I go ahead and look over closely, and I notice two things. I notice that this screw here is messed up, where this screw has probably been taken out of the gun for some reason, or at least somebody tried to take it out of the gun. And I'm going to turn this gun in the light right, and I also notice there is there it is, those little marks right there. Now, those are a little bit more evident in person than they are on camera, but there is 3 marks that's not oil, and that's in the finish of the gun, right there. Boom, boom, boom. There's like 3 little dots and 1 right there. So those little marks right there on this side plate and that screw that is messed up right here. This screw's good. And you know what hit me when I seen that? When the screw was messed up and those little marks right here? I said, you know what? I said, it came right back into my mind that I was looking at this gun, and as I turned the gun and was looking at it, and I went like this, and is when he said, wait a minute, and pointed to the car that was turning in the parking lot. And what he did worked, because instead of me looking over this side of the gun, when I dropped it down like this to my lap and looked at the car, looked to my left and looked at the car until it turned, when I re-picked the gun up, I lost focus of where I was at and didn't even turn the gun again and just held it like this. And so he knew. He got one over on me. He was a shady gun seller. Now, I mean, he wasn't I don't believe the guy was a robber, a murderer, anything like that. And I don't even believe the guy was actually a scam artist. But what he did was he was shady and didn't want me to see that the screw was messed up. Obviously, the screw's either been out or somebody tried to turn it to get it out of the gun. This screw's good, and that there was these marks right here on this side plate. And I sat at home and I said, you know what? I said, he got one over on me. Now, I still was happy with the gun, happy with the price. $650 to $700 is all I paid. I can't remember which. It might have been $700. I still wanted to keep the gun. I didn't even bother messaging the guy. What I did was I used that as a learning experience. I basically wrote it off as this. It was my fault. I didn't have to put the gun down and then pick it up and totally forget where I was at like I did. But I said what he did worked. It worked. It worked like a charm. It's like, let's say you're selling your car and your car's sitting here like this. And over here there's a big dent, a quarter-size dent on the passenger side door. You got a buyer that's walking around your car looking at it. And when he gets over here, you go, hey, wait a minute, let me show you something in the trunk here. I put a full-size spare in there, and you totally distract the driver. He comes around with you, and you open the trunk, and you say, look at this full-size spare I got in the trunk. And he goes, oh, that's really cool. Then when he comes away from your trunk, he's not even going to remember that he was up here looking at your car 9 times out of 10. He's going to come away from your trunk and just totally do whatever he was going to do or walk around this way or whatever. 9 times out of 10, the guy's not even going to remember where he was last at looking at your car in that heat of the moment time where 1,000 things are going through his mind. So that's kind of what the shady gun seller did to me. Now, like I said, I didn't make a big fuss about it. Yeah, I could have messaged the guy. I had his info. I even had his phone number. I won't deal with anybody that won't give me their number. That's number one. If you won't give me a phone number, there's no way on earth that I'm going to deal with you. And nine times out of 10, I speak with the person on the phone before we deal. Now, like I said, everything I've ever done, ever traded, sold, or bought, I've never had any major problem whatsoever. In fact, believe it or not, in hundreds of gun deals, I've never had someone that I met and then when they got with me face to face tried to talk me down on price. Now, how I curb that is most times what I do is when I speak to the person on the phone, when we're going to plan to meet, I just tell them right up front. I'll say, just so you know, I can't come down on price. I'm nice about it, but I say, I just want to let you know, just in case if you were wondering or if you were going to ask at the last minute, I'm not going to be able to come down on price any for you because that's the lowest I can go, and I want to know if you're still okay with that. Boom. Right there, guys. That's all you got to do. So I don't want to make this video too long, guys, but there it is. Just watch out for little shady things that people might do. I'm still happy with this gun. I love it. I plan on keeping it in the collection for good. Don't ever have any plans of getting rid of that. The bluing's beautiful. The case-hardened hammer, trigger, the no key lock on here, and it's got the firing pin on the hammer. Yeah, guys, I really do like this gun. But the guy, there was no reason for him to be shady with me. You want to know the truth? I still would have purchased this gun and wouldn't even have talked him down if he just would have been honest. But from that point on, anytime if I'd have seen that guy on the forums, I never would have dealt with him again. All right, guys, until next time, this is DOF, and I am out.